Please join me in welcoming Darren Aronofsky.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah. Only in Toronto. Yes. You sick motherfucker. Sorry.
Darren, let me get this question out of the way right off the top on behalf of the audience. What the fuck?
If everyone can go and tweet WTF right now, Mother movie, that would be great. Look, I was feeling a lot of frustration and rage. And for me, movie making comes from deep inside. And a couple of years ago, I was sitting around going, why is no one thinking about our mother? Not your mother, not my mother, but our mother, this mother who gives us life. And I was like, I want to tell her story. She gives us all this love. She gives us a home. She gives us endless gifts. Yet we treat her like shit. And I wanted to talk about it.
It's beautifully done, but you go hard and you go deep with it, and you're using horror tropes, you're using genre elements, but you're using also a lot of the things that we've seen in your previous films, from Requiem for a Dream and Pi and Black Swan. A lot of your work is in here. Does this feel like kind of a ultimate Darren Aronofsky movie?
Well, that's nice. I mean, look, I've always been a fan of filmmakers who make films that only they can make. And someone said to me after they saw it, and that's all they said was like, only you could have made this. And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of cool. I don't know if they liked it or what, but it was cool. I can't help when you author these things, they just come out and you're the same person, but you're very different. I mean, I tell the story, when Requiem for a Dream went to Blu-ray, I didn't get involved with the transfer, my whole team did it. And then at the end, they were like, you really should watch it before we print it, would you? And I said, okay. And I saw the film. I could remember every moment of making it, but I knew it wasn't me anymore. And so you just sort of move through these things, you change, but ultimately there are reflections that come back to haunt.
All right, let's go to you. Questions,
Please.
Comments for Darren Aronofsky. If you got a question, please wave your hand, especially if you're up at the back. Anyone want to start? Yeah, let's go right up here. Go ahead.
What's up?
Question is, why do none of the characters have names?
Well, they do have names, but they don't say them. And the point is, I think the film works on two levels. It works on just a relationship film about a narcissistic creator and someone who takes care of his home and takes care of him and builds him shelter. But that was just one level. For me, I was more interested in this larger metaphorical thing of like, mother and God hanging out in a house and seeing human history unfold. And so it was symbolic, and that sort of led for all the reason for how it's spelt and lowercase and all that type of stuff came out of that. But if you look close at the cast list and the character list, there's a lot of clues in there. I know you guys were all chattering about what the fuck, and then you missed it, but there's a lot of clues in the credits.
All right, we'll go back here. The question is about the characters played by Michelle Pfeiffer. I try. Michelle Pfeiffer and Ed Harris. How did they tie into the whole story?
Well, Ed is, what kind of the big breakthrough for me was when I was working on this. I wanted to figure out how to tell the story of people on Earth, and I realized that the myths of the Bible would be a really good kind of structure. So I went back to Genesis, which I had been studying a little bit on the last film. And if you go through the film, you'll actually see all of the stories unfold in order in the Bible. So that would mean the first man, Ed Harris, would be, thank you, and then Michelle shows up and and then the brothers show up and they're there you go. Then here, it's like church, baby.
Now.
And then
Preach.
and then the sync breaks and it's, thank you. And then it continues through the New Testament after that. So that was kind of the structure that kind of gave me a Christmas tree to like hang these ornaments off of it.
That's great. Okay, let's go right here.
Sorry, you're gonna have to pay me money to see that one again.
All right.
Come on back.
Let's go up here. Yes. I'm not sure if this is really a question, but
Yeah.
do you ever fear that a scene is too much?
You know, it's interesting. It's interesting because I've been doing a little press, and really, if you read the newspaper, but you go past you really think about what the words are saying, what those brave journalists are writing about. Just any A section of any great newspaper, it's really messed up place, and there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. And I don't think there's anything that's in the film that's anywhere crazier than your daily paper. The difference is that, you know, I stuck movie stars in there, which makes it a little empathetic, so you're really feeling it. And that's an intense thing to do and put it right into your face. But I don't know, I mean, I had this issue, you know, on Requiem for a Dream when the MPAA didn't give us an R rating, and they tried to get me to cut the film. The whole purpose that Hubert Selby Jr. wrote that book was to explore the darkness to reveal the light. And if you cut back from that darkness, you undermine the message of the material. So for me, it was a very similar thing. It was like I was just trying to be an honest portrayal of how we treat our mother, and then to just put it in front of us as a reflection. But it is a cautionary tale. I'm totally an optimist, and I think we have the means to change everything, and to change a lot of it and to fix things. And you know, that's why it's a cautionary tale.
That's great. Thank you. All right, there's a lot of questions. Let's go right here. Oh. Question is, what do you think the reaction will be?
I mean, you know, I think it's going to be everywhere across the board. Anytime you kind of throw a punch at someone, people are going to react in different ways. Some people are going to be like, you know, F you. And some people are going to be like, oh, hit me again. So, and we've gotten all those different types of reactions. For me, you know, my dad gave me a call a few days ago, and he reminded me, I didn't remember it, that when we were driving by a theater once that was playing an early film, I said to him, Dad, all I want to do is make them boo or applaud. If they do nothing, I lose. So I guess I'm still that guy.
Great answer. It was the guy behind you. Go ahead. Yep.
Why no score? Well, there actually is a score. Me and Johan Johansson, great composer. I actually met him. Yeah, I met him at TIFF a year or 2 years ago after he did Sicario. I was like, that motherfucker's cool. And so we started working together. We actually worked for several months together, and there is a score. We're hoping eventually to make it into an opera. So stand by. But in the meantime, but what was interesting is when we put it on the film, Johan was the first to detect it, and he was like, it's weird because you don't want to give the audience a hint at what's going on. And the second you put music, you're telling the audience kind of what to feel. And the whole film works because you don't know what the fuck is going on. And you're leaning into Jennifer to decipher. And what we realize is Jennifer is actually the score of the movie. She's giving you every emotion beat by beat. And we never lay off of her. The camera, as you may have noticed, is just over her shoulder, on her face, or what she's looking at. That's the only 3 shots in the film. There's no wide shots, there's no inserts. It's purely that coverage, which is a nightmare when you get to the edit room and you have nowhere to escape if things aren't working out. But luckily, Jen was just a great tour guide for the audience, always sort of responding and reacting to things in a way that keeps the dynamics going. So ultimately, the film worked best without a score. And then Craig Hennigan from Toronto, the sound designer, was able to really push his stuff forward to make the subjective experience more.
Thank you. Time for 1 or 2 more. Who said here? Who was that? Where are you? Up here? Oh, thank you very much. Okay, yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay, so I wanted to ask, what did he write? Was it orange? Like, were we supposed to know that, or was that another metaphor?
Questions, what did he write?
You know, I mean, I think it's purposely dreamlike and abstract. You know, we never really wanted to show the words on the page on purpose because they're kind of the unknowable words. There are no words that could really represent it. But for me, it was always, and I don't think if it's that important. It's kind of a red herring. But for me, what I told myself and what that kind of dream sequence was while she was reading the poem and it goes outside, is he was writing the story of their origin and the initial love and the initial creation that they had together. That's kind of what I reasoned myself on, what I talked to the actors about when we were out in that field getting stung by mosquitoes, why we were doing it.
It's great. Now, don't everybody start on this. Okay. Okay, last one up here. Oh, sorry, one at a time,
Stereo
please.
questions. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, that's the one thing I won't answer. It doesn't matter. Let's get one more question.
Okay, don't even ask the question. Okay, one more question up here. Go ahead. Sorry, we've got 2 people speaking right now. Can we go with just one of you?
Yeah, sure. No, you could go.
No, please go ahead.
Thank you. I just had a question. What was it like to film on such a setting? There was such a change in scene all the time. What was it like to, change so quickly?
Yeah.
The question is about what was it like to shoot on that very contained set?
Yeah. I mean, it was a big challenge because, we would finish shooting for a day, and then the art department would come in at night and prep for the next day, and so it was a 24-hour production cycle up in Montreal. And everyone's leaving, and thank you so much for coming. But get out of the house! Get out! Get out!
All right, I guess that's it.
Thank you very
Darren
much,
Aronofsky.
Toronto. Thank you. See you soon. Bye-bye.